Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. You know how it is, you're trying to improve your running, you're looking for that extra edge, and suddenly you're bombarded with ads for every supplement under the sun.
Right. It's like a minefield out there trying to figure out what actually works versus what's just hype.
Exactly. So today we're going to try to clear some of that up. We're diving into an article from rockingultra.com.
Oh, yeah. rockingultra.com. I love that site. They have a ton of great resources for runners.
Seriously, hundreds of articles on everything from training plans to nutrition to mental toughness.
It's like a one-stop shop for runners of all levels.
And this particular article really caught my eye. It's all about supplements, specifically which ones are actually worth considering for runners.
Definitely a timely topic. I think a lot of runners struggle with that.
For sure. So let's get right into it. The article starts off with a really important reminder. Food first. Always.
Couldn't agree more. It's tempting to think supplements can be a shortcut, but nothing beats a solid foundation of whole foods.
Right. We're talking lean proteins, whole grains, fruits, veggies, all the good stuff.
Exactly. And rockingultra.com really emphasizes that they're all about a holistic approach, not just quick fixes.
I like that supplements are meant to supplement a healthy diet, not replace it.
Exactly. It's all about balance.
So the article goes on to talk about some specific supplements that are worth considering for runners. And one that comes up a lot is protein powder.
Yeah, that's a popular one. And for good reason. If you're having trouble hitting your protein goals through food alone, protein powder can be a helpful way to bridge the gap.
Especially after a tough workout, when your muscles need those amino acids for repair and recovery.
Exactly. The article mentions whey isolate as a good option because it's absorbed quickly. But they also talk about plant-based options if you're dairy-free or vegan.
So it sounds like there's something for everyone.
Definitely. But the article also makes it clear that protein powder isn't a magic muscle builder on its own.
Right. You still have to put in the work. Consistent exercise, particularly strength training, is what actually builds muscle.
Totally. Protein provides the building blocks, but you need the stimulus of exercise to trigger that growth.
So it's like trying to build a house without actually, doing any construction. You have the materials, but you got to swing that hammer.
I love that analogy. It's so true. Supplements can support your efforts, but they can't replace the hard work.
Okay, so next up we've got electrolytes. And I think anyone who's ever bonked on a long run knows how important these are.
Oh, yeah. Electrolytes are essential minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium that we lose through sweat. And during long runs or hot conditions, you can lose a significant amount, which can lead to cramps, fatigue, and even more serious issues.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way early on. So how do supplements help?
Electrolyte supplements can help replenish those lost minerals quickly, keeping you hydrated and performing at your best. The article recommends tablets or powders with low sugar content, which is key.
Why is that?
Well, you don't want to counteract the benefits of hydration with a sugar overload, Some sports drinks are basically just liquid candy.
That's a good point. It's better to choose electrolyte supplements that focus on replenishing the minerals you need without all the added sugar.
Exactly. It's about being mindful of the ingredients and choosing options that support your performance without unnecessary extras.
Makes sense. Now, one supplement that I was surprised to see mentioned for runners was creatine. I always thought that was more of a weightlifting thing.
Yeah, creatine is often associated with strength training, but research shows it can be beneficial for endurance athletes as well.
Really? How does that work?
So creatine helps your muscles regenerate energy faster, which is crucial for both short bursts of power and sustained effort. It's basically like giving your muscles a bigger gas tank, allowing them to work harder for longer.
Okay, that makes sense. So it could actually help with things like maintaining pace and powering through those final miles.
Exactly. And it can also help reduce fatigue, which is a huge benefit for runners of all distances. The article recommends sticking with pure creatine monohydrate and avoiding blends with added ingredients.
Got it. Keep it simple. All right, next we've got multivitamins. Do those really make a difference, or are they just expensive urine?
That's a question a lot of people have. And the answer is, it depends. Multivitamins can be helpful as a safety net if you're concerned about potential gaps in your diet, but they shouldn't be seen as a replacement for a healthy, balanced eating plan.
So not a free pass to eat whatever you want.
Definitely not. Food first, always. Remember, multivitamins can help fill in any potential gaps, but they can't replace the wide range of nutrients you get from whole foods.
Makes sense. Finally, the article talks about omega-3 fatty acids. I know those are good for your heart,
Sure.
but what about for runners specifically?
Well, omega-3s are potent anti-inflammatories, which is incredibly important for runners. You see, inflammation is a natural part of exercise, but chronic inflammation can hinder recovery and increase your risk of injury. Omega-3s can help manage that inflammation and support overall joint health.
So it's like a natural recovery booster.
Exactly. And rockingultraday.com emphasizes that it's especially important for runners to get enough omega-3s since we put so much stress on our joints. They recommend fish oil or algae-based supplements if you're not getting enough through your diet.
Good to know. So we've covered some of the supplements that can be beneficial for runners, but let's be real. There's a lot of hype out there too.
Oh yeah, for every helpful supplement, there are probably 10 that are just marketing gimmicks.
Right. And that's where the next part of the article comes in, separating the hype from the help. So what are some of the products that runners should be wary of?
Well, the first target on their list is fat burners. They always promise amazing results, increased metabolism, rapid fat loss. But do they really deliver?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. What's the real story behind these so-called miracle products?
Honestly, most fat burners rely on stimulants like caffeine or green tea extract to boost your metabolism. And while that can slightly increase the number of calories you burn, it's not a significant difference.
Because you're saying it's not like those commercials where people are just effortlessly shedding pounds.
Right. The key to sustainable weight loss is creating a calorie deficit, meaning you're burning more calories than you're consuming, and that comes down to a combination of diet and exercise.
No shortcuts there. What about pre-workout powders? Do those really give you that extra edge? Or are they just a fancy way to get your caffeine fix?
A lot of them are basically just caffeine bombs in disguise. And while caffeine can enhance performance, you can get the same effect from a cup of coffee.
So it's more about the marketing and the ritual than the actual ingredients.
In many cases, yes. And it's important to be aware of those proprietary blends that don't disclose the exact amounts of each ingredient. You could be getting way more caffeine than you realize, which can lead to jitters, anxiety, and even digestive issues during your workout.
Okay, so maybe not the best idea to chug a pre-workout right before hitting the treadmill. Speaking of things that sound too good to be true, let's talk about detox teas and cleanses.
Oh, those are a classic example of marketing hype, preying on people's desire for a quick fix. Your body already has a highly efficient detoxification system in place, your liver and kidneys. These detox products are often just glorified laxatives that can actually disrupt your gut health.
So instead of wasting money on a detox, we should be focusing on supporting our natural detoxification processes.
Exactly. And the best way to do that is through a healthy diet rich in fiber, plenty of water, and regular exercise.
Simple yet effective. Okay, last but not least, let's address the collagen craze. These supplements claim to improve skin elasticity, joint health, and even muscle recovery. What's the verdict?
Well, collagen is a protein that plays a structural role in our bodies. But when you consume it as a supplement, it gets broken down during digestion. So any benefits are indirect and not as dramatic as the marketing might suggest.
So it's not a magic potion for eternal youth.
Afraid not. If you're eating a balanced diet with sufficient protein, you're likely getting enough collagen through food. Supplementation might provide a small boost, but it's not essential.
All right, so we've covered some of the common marketing traps in the supplement world. The article on rockingultraday.com also has some tips for being a savvy consumer.
They really emphasize the importance of critical thinking. Don't just believe everything you see on the label.
Right, just because something says all natural or clinically proven doesn't automatically make it true.
Exactly. Always look for third-party testing certifications from reputable organizations like NSF International or Informed Sport. This means the product has been independently tested for quality and safety.
That's good to know. Are there any other red flags we should watch out for?
Definitely pay attention to the ingredient list. Avoid products with long lists of ingredients you can't pronounce or unnecessary additives, and be wary of those zero sugar claims. Often they've just replaced sugar with artificial sweeteners, which can cause digestive upset, especially during exercise.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that connection before. So it's really about being an informed consumer and making choices that align with your overall health goals.
Absolutely. And rockingultraday.com encourages runners to do their research and consult with healthcare professionals if they have any questions or concerns.
Now, let's say someone is just starting out on their running journey. What's the best approach to supplements? Should they be incorporating them right away?
The article makes it clear beginners should focus on building healthy habits first.
So what does that look like?
It's about prioritizing whole foods hydration and getting enough sleep. Those are the foundations of a healthy lifestyle and will have the biggest impact on your running performance.
So supplements come later once those basics are in place.
Exactly. Once you've established a consistent routine and have a good understanding of your body's needs, then you can start exploring supplements if you feel they would be beneficial.
But it's not about jumping on the latest supplement bandwagon.
Right. It's about making informed choices that support your individual goals and needs.
The article does acknowledge that there are times when supplements can be helpful, even for experienced runners.
Of course. For example, a quick protein shake after a workout if you're short on time can be a convenient way to get those nutrients in. Or if you're training for a marathon or ultramarathon supplements like creatine or electrolytes can enhance your performance and recovery.
So it's about using supplements strategically to complement your training and optimize your results.
Exactly. And rockingultraray.com has tons of resources on their website to help runners make those informed decisions.
That's great to hear. So to wrap up our deep dive into the world of supplements, what are the key takeaways we want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest one is that supplements aren't magic bullets. They can't replace the foundations of a healthy lifestyle.
So prioritize whole foods, hydration, consistent exercise, and enough sleep.
Absolutely. And when you are choosing supplements, be a savvy consumer. Look for third-party testing, read labels carefully, do your research.
Don't get swept up in the marketing hype. Make informed choices that align with your needs and goals.
And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. What works for one runner might not work for another.
That's so true. It's all about listening to your body and finding what works best for you. You know, this deep dive has given us a lot to think about, and I have to say rockingultra.com has really impressed me with their approach.
Yeah, they're not about extremes or quick fixes. They're all about sustainable practices that support your physical and mental well-being as a runner.
And that comes through in their writing, you know? They don't just tell you what to do, they explain why it matters.
It's about empowering runners with knowledge so they can make their own decisions.
Exactly. So before we wrap up, I want to encourage everyone listening to check out rockingultraray.com.
Oh, definitely. You won't regret it.
They have hundreds of articles on every aspect of running, from training plans and injury prevention to race day strategies and mental toughness.
They cover it all. And their writing style is so engaging and easy to understand, even if you're brand new to running.
I know, I found myself nodding along like, yep, that makes sense.
They get it. They really understand runners.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on supplements, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question from the article.
Okay, I like it. What is it?
What's one small change you can make today to prioritize your health and well-being?
I love that. It doesn't have to be a huge overhaul.
Right? Maybe it's swapping that sugary sports drink for water. Or adding an extra serving of veggies to your dinner.
Or maybe it's taking a few minutes to stretch after a run. Small, consistent steps can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
My pleasure. Until next time, keep rocking your own ultra journey.